Ted, welcome to the program.
Glenn, always great to be with you.
Okay. We booked you yesterday to talk about the subpoena that was going out, and you were going to question Jack Dorsey and others on Friday. Yep. However, the GOP has started to waver on the issue. Why is the subpoena not going out for election interference and muting people who are delivering news about developments on Joe Biden?
Well, I believe one way or another it's going to go out, and Twitter and Facebook are both going to testify. Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg are both going to testify. They're going to testify in person. They're going to testify before Election Day. That's what I think should happen. That's what I am fighting vociferously to make happen. Right now, the companies are negotiating with the chairman's office to discuss terms to come voluntarily. I don't really give a damn whether they come voluntarily or under subpoena. They need to testify in person and answer questions for the American people about why they are trying to steal this election, to suppress the free speech, and to censor censor the press.
Why, Ted, is it important for somebody to say, I came voluntarily, not under subpoena?
I have no idea, because their lawyers are arguing for it.
Right.
It makes no
difference.
Difference. So I
right.
don't care if it's pursuant to a subpoena or they agree to come. But
right.
They're apparently trying to negotiate the terms. What I am pressing for, and listen, I hope Republicans stand firm. I mean, it's a matter of the Republicans on the committee not going wobbly, as Margaret Thatcher famously said some decades ago, and I hope that we do stand firm, and I'm doing everything humanly possible to urge my colleagues to do exactly that.
I don't know what their problem is, but I think the American people on the right are really, really tired of the saying one thing and doing another on this. I appreciate you standing firmly for the First Amendment. You said yesterday that Jack Dorsey is behaving as like Joe Biden's press secretary.
Yeah. Well, here's how the whole thing came to pass. So it was last week, as you know, the New York Post had two consecutive blockbuster stories. The first story, based on emails that allegedly came from Hunter Biden's computer, show that Joe Biden is not telling the truth and has been. They allege meetings between Joe Biden and Ukrainian oligarchs that Biden has repeatedly denied. The second blockbuster story was based on additional emails that showed Communist China offering Joe Biden directly millions of dollars. And it's important to underscore, look, this is not about Hunter Biden. By all appearances, Hunter Biden has led a troubled life, has made some unfortunate decisions. This is about Joe Biden, the man who would be president, who would be the commander-in-chief, and whether he directly is involved in corruption with foreign countries. In any ordinary universe, this is a major, major story. But then big tech stepped in, and they did something they've never done before. We know that big tech has been censoring individual conservatives, trying to suppress conservative speech. But the step they took here is they blocked, if any individual user tried to share either of the New York Post stories, you were blocked. You got a warning sign that said, no, you can't block this because this story is, quote, potentially harmful. Well, perhaps politically to Biden, but sharing a news story from a major media outlet is as part of democracy, part of free speech. And not only that, they blocked the New York Post itself. Right now today, the New York Post is not being allowed to post its own damn stories on corruption. And this is ridiculous. It's a threshold that's never been crossed before of Silicon Valley oligarchs declaring the authority to determine what the press is allowed to report and who's allowed to see it.
Well, the mainstream media is right in there with them. They're calling anything, really anything now, a conspiracy theory. They're calling all of these documents, and we don't have them only just now from the computer, but one of Hunter Biden's partner has released 28,000 emails to Peter Schweitzer, and we already now know that many of those documents on the computer are documents that he, as a partner, had with Hunter Biden, showing the relationships here. But they're calling it a conspiracy theory. If you bring up election interference, it's a conspiracy theory. You talk about that there is possible voter fraud. It's conspiracy theories. Ted, they are marking half of the population as crazy.
Well, and they are gaslighting us. They are deliberately suppressing. The New York Post has the fourth highest circulation of any newspaper in America. It's over 200 years old. The New York Post was founded by Alexander Hamilton. And Jack Dorsey is saying he can decide. By the way, if they can censor the New York Post, they can also censor the New York Times. A Politico reporter tweeted about the New York Post story. They blocked the Politico reporters until the reporter got on his knees and groveled and apologized to the big tech masters for daring to address a topic that his overlords don't wish him to address. And by the way, the Democratic talking point. So the Dem senators, by and large, are just ignoring this, like the media is. Mm-hmm. To the extent they've said anything, their argument is, well, this is all Russian disinformation. Well, okay, if that's your argument, fine. Prove it. Show some evidence. If these emails are false, you know what? I'd like to know that. If they're false, let's see some evidence of that. Mm-hmm. That's actually called journalism. But you know who hasn't argued that? Joe Biden. Joe Biden has not denied this is Hunter Biden's computer. He has not denied the emails are real. He has not denied that he met personally with the Ukrainian oligarch after lying to the American people and saying that he didn't. He has not denied that Communist China offered him personally millions of dollars. And the entire press is refusing to do their jobs. I mean, Joe Biden did an ABC town hall that was practically a kumbaya love-in where they were in robes and had daisies in their ears. I mean, it was ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And Stephanopoulos, okay, one of these supposedly undecided voters was a former White House speechwriter for Barack Obama.
You got a problem with that? He was seriously considering Donald Trump. Come on. Jeez.
It's nuts. And Glenn, you've worked at these media organizations. How do they do this? How does the media?
Oh, this is beyond. CNN, this is beyond anything that I have ever witnessed. I mean, Ted, I don't know if you saw the Robert Reich suggestion about truth and reconciliation. Google that. This is not an idea off the top of his head. This is being attempted in Canada, in Great Britain, and here. And it has big backing from the left. They're serious. They feel that America lost its mind, and they will ensure this never happens again. And if that means packing the court, adding states, and getting rid of the filibuster, they'll do it. They'll do it.
They plan to do all of that. And they plan to go after our fundamental rights. You know, one of the chapters in my new book, One Vote Away, addresses free speech. And it goes through both the Supreme Court cases, in particular Citizens United, where our right to express political speech hangs by one vote. But it also discusses the attempt by Senate Democrats to amend the Constitution and to pass a constitutional amendment eliminating our free speech rights. And I led the battle against that in the Senate. I'm the chairman of the Constitution Subcommittee and debated repeatedly Democrats, and every single Democrat, 100% of Senate Democrats, voted to amend the Constitution to remove our free speech rights and to give government the power to regulate political speech. On the Senate floor.
When did this happen?
This happened in 2014.
I don't even remember that.
The media refused to cover it. And the way it happened, so they frame it as this is, quote, repealing Citizens United, which the Democrats have all decided is terrible. Now, Citizens United, the Supreme Court, held that we have a right to free speech and to criticize politicians. As you know, Glenn, the facts of what happened in Citizens United is a small nonprofit in D.C. called Citizens United made a movie critical of Hillary Clinton. Mm-hmm. And the Obama administration took the position that they could fine the movie maker for daring to make a movie critical of Hillary Clinton. Case went to the U.S. Supreme Court. I'll tell you the most chilling moment at the argument was Justice Sam Alito asked the Obama Justice Department, under your theory of the case, is it your view that the federal government could ban books? The Obama Justice Department answers yes. Yes, the government can ban books. If they criticize politicians, we can ban them. Thankfully, the court rejected that radical view by a vote of 5-4. Jeez. We are one vote away from the government, from 5 justices saying the government has the power to ban movies and ban books.
All right. Are we going to get a vote before the election for Amy Coney Barrett?
Yes, she will be confirmed. Judiciary Committee will vote on Thursday. She'll be voted out on Thursday, and then she will likely be confirmed on the Senate floor, I would say Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of next week. But early next week is when she'll be confirmed. And
you don't see anybody getting weak knees?
I don't. I think she did a fabulous job.
Really well.
She was calm, cool, collected. You could see the first day the Democrats try to throw a couple of shots at her, and she was so good at dealing with them, and it was going so badly for the Democrats that by day 2, they ran away. I mean, by the time my questioning came, I pointed out there were only 2 Democrats left in the hearing room. All the rest of them had run for the hills, because they realized us going after this judge and the American people hearing her defend the Constitution and Bill of Rights is really, really bad for us. Let's get this over with quickly.
Ted, thank you so much. I am going to be doing something here in about 2 hours on the fact checkers of Facebook and Twitter and this cesspool. We found some interesting things that really kind of came out of these Biden documents. It was a connection to a couple things that it was a missing piece that we put together, and you might want to look at those. So when you're talking to Facebook, you have a little additional information on how crooked this thing is. I'll send it to you today.
I look forward to seeing it, and thank you for shining a light on it.
Thank you,
and thank you for being fearless, because you speak the truth even when the whole world assails against you.
Ted, I say the same thing back to you, because you are fighting this, and you are fighting this. I mean, we're in your district, and we are, I think, the only big media outlet in your district, and I know you're fighting it not just for us, but for every other person, even if we disagree with them, to make sure we have freedom of press and freedom of speech. And you are up against the big dogs. Thank you very much. Ted Cruz, thank you so much.
Take care.
You bet.